Welcome in, everyone. I hope you are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have some major news. There's been another boat strike on a cartel drug boat, but this time there are survivors that have been taken into custody as prisoners of war, essentially. We're in a cartel war, and survivors on the boat are now in U.S. custody, being held by the U.S. military after a strike left some dead, but did not kill them all. We are going to get into exactly what we know, what happened. Plus, President Donald Trump and Marco Rubio have both addressed the situation, as well as Trump dropping an F-bomb when talking about Maduro not wanting to mess with the United States. This has been a crazy, crazy development. As you can tell, I'm pretty amped up. Can't wait to break it down. Before we get started, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free, cost you nothing at all. Please comment with your thoughts below. Huge boost to the channel as well. And I love reading all your guys' thoughts. Hit that bell, all notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. And then right here, bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. DMs are open. Send me anything you got. So as we know, the United States of America has been doing drug boat raids, bombings, whatever you want to call them, hitting them with drones, hitting them with Hellfire missiles, putting them at the bottom of the ocean to stop the drugs from pouring into the United States, to stop the poison that is coming into our country and killing our people. We can't tolerate it. We won't allow it. And President Donald Trump made it a campaign promise. And we've been doing these strikes for about a month and a half now. We've blown up several boats, but every boat we'd previously blown up, there were no survivors. Everyone died. That is no longer the case. We have struck a boat and multiple people survived. We have the details of what kind of boat it was. I'm going to throw this and where the prisoners are currently being held. So this comes from Reuters. It says exclusive U.S. Navy warship holding survivors from strike on Caribbean vessel. Sources say. So it says U.S. strike targeted submarine-like vessel. Source says survivors rescued by helicopter may be prisoners of war. First known survivors from U.S. strikes. I'm filming this on October 17th, so this information is up to date as of October 17th. It says the U.S. military is holding two survivors aboard a Navy ship after rescuing them from a suspected drug vessel in the Caribbean hit by a U.S. strike that killed two others. Three sources familiar with the matter told Reuters on Friday. Now, we do not have the video of this yet, and I stress yet because it was indicated by Marco Rubio and Trump, kind of how you read into it, that this video at some point is probably going to come out. We just don't have it yet. It says the disclosure, which has not been previously reported, raises the possibility that the survivors from Thursday's strike are the first prisoners of war in a conflict declared by President Donald Trump against a narco-terrorist threat that he says is emanating from Venezuela. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump told reporters that the strike was against a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. He did not comment on how many were killed or survived the strike. One of the sources said the vessel struck on Thursday moved below the water and possibly was a semi-submersible, which is a submarine-like vessel used by drug traffickers to avoid detection. So for those of you who've never seen those before, they're mostly underwater. There'll be a little part up top that you can see, but it is a way for the drug subs, the narco subs, if you will, to disappear under the water and, like it says here, avoid detection. Five sources familiar with the matter said the U.S. military staged a helicopter rescue to pick up the survivors of the attack and bring them back to the warship. Prior to Thursday's operation, U.S. military strikes against suspected drug boats off Venezuela had not left any known survivors, and videos presented by the Trump administration showed vessels being destroyed. The Trump administration has said the previous strike killed 27 people, raising alarms among some legal experts and Democratic lawmakers who question whether they adhere to the laws of war. They absolutely do. If you're a drug smuggler and you are trying to bring your poison into this country, we're going to deal with you however we want, and that might include dropping a bomb on your head, warheads on foreheads, as they say. The strikes come against the backdrop of U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean that includes guided missile destroyers, F-35 fighter jets, a nuclear submarine, and around 6,500 troops as Trump escalates a standoff with the Venezuelan government. On Wednesday, Trump disclosed that he had authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela, adding to speculation in Caracas that the United States is attempting to topple Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. In a letter this week to the United Nations 15-member Security Council seen by Reuters, Venezuela UN Ambassador Samuel Moncada asked for a UN determination that the U.S. strikes off its coast are illegal and to issue a statement backing Venezuelan sovereignty. Earlier this month, the Pentagon disclosed to Congress in a notification reviewed by Reuters that Trump is determined that the United States is engaged in a non-international armed conflict. The document aimed to explain the Trump administration's legal rationale for unleashing U.S. military force in the Caribbean. Less than a week ago, the Pentagon announced its counter-narcotic operations in the region would not be led by Miami-based Southern Command, which oversees U.S. military activities in Latin America. Instead, the Pentagon said a task force was being created that would be led by the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force, a unit capable of rapid overseas operations that is based in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So I'm going to put this up on the screen now. So Trump, as you can see here, addressed Venezuela. So we have survivors. We have POWs. We have the first POWs of the narco wars after their submarine, submersible, whatever we're calling it, was hit with a missile and did not go down, leaving some survivors. Sorry, I need a drink. And this obviously was a huge, huge, huge story, huge deal. Trump was asked about this and much more during his Friday meeting with Zelensky. Let's go ahead and watch what he had to say.
So it'll be a great honor to get it done.
On Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're on.
I have to pause right there. I can't believe that question got asked. I cannot believe the follow-up was, how are there survivors when there's lethal attacks? Guys, people survive violent military operations from time to time. Then you are legally required to render aid. You don't just get to murder people who are incapacitated, can't fight. There are rules of war. And the United States, as the greatest military fighting force on the planet, follows those rules better than anyone else does. And don't even come at me with the fact that we don't. The United States is the crown jewel when it comes to the laws of war, restraint, conducting war the right way. So yes, if we carry out a strike and there are survivors, we are going to go get them. And if they need medical attention, they get medical attention, and then they remain in custody.
Undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later.
So right there, Marco Rubio is saying we will get more details on this situation and exactly what happened and how this all unfolded. Hopefully there'll be video of it. We'll see.
Today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines, and that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine. Yeah.
On Putin, is it your belief?
All right. So as you can see right there, I'm going to go ahead and share this one now. As you can see right there, President Donald Trump is making it crystal clear. These were bad, bad guys. These are drug traffickers. They were in a submarine. We bombed the submarine. And yes, there were 2 survivors who are now in U.S. custody being held on a U.S. warship. I imagine they will then be transported back to the United States where they will face whatever criminal charges they get. But the question is, will they be treated as regular criminals, or are they going to be treated as prisoners of war? Because there's different standards, there's different legal avenues. A street criminal and a prisoner of war are treated very differently. They have different rights. The process is different. Who judges them is different, all of that stuff. And then at the end of a war, POWs are, of course, supposed to be released. We don't want these guys released. My guess is you might then treat them like a street criminal, but that is speculation on my part. But Trump was also asked his message to Maduro, and he uncorked the heater. Let's watch him.
Healthcare system. We're not going to let that happen.
Have you authorized CIA operations in Venezuela as part of?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but Some interesting things are happening around the world, I'll say that.
It's been reported, Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Boom. What? I mean, is this not what everyone's hoping to see? We've got the president of the United States being asked about how Maduro is begging to stay in power and telling us he'll give us all his oil and give us everything he has to remain in power. And President Trump is like, yeah, that's because he doesn't want to F around with the United States. Notice how he didn't say he was going to take that deal. We are living through an incredible time, and I'm very excited. I'm very amped up. You can tell that. I don't try to hide that from you guys. We're blowing up boats. We're going after the drug cartels. Trump's out here dropping F-bombs, talking about Nicolas Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela. And what an amazing, amazing situation. You can tell Trump, Rubio, Hookstead, the military, they're confident as hell that they're going to steamroll these guys if it comes to it. They are incredibly confident that if push comes to shove and the military gets let off the chain to target Maduro, it's going to be over before it was even on. That is the fact of the matter. And quite frankly, that's the way it should be. I mean, are we tired of all the winning yet? Are we tired of the winning? We're flying B-52 bombers off the coast of Venezuela. Maduro is not ready for this. Maduro is not ready for what the United States military can bring to the fight. How could he be? He's running a country that he successfully ran into the ground. He's got a couple functional jets. They just crashed one of their own ships the other day during a military exercise meant to intimidate the United States. They are scrambling. There are private jets constantly leaving Venezuela, probably with government leaders and wealthy people who are trying to get the hell out of the way before the bombs start falling. This is an insane situation that gets more insane with every single passing day. And I'm here for it. I am more than here for it. So now we are going to see what happens. We're going to see what comes next. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notifications bell. All notifications turn on. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. Please reach out with anything you have. I'll see y'all next time.